Welcome to this first video in our Practical and Pastoral Elements of Ministry series. This is Bishop Deb, your sparkling host. When I was in full-time parish ministry, people often asked me jokingly what I did through the week. When I ran down the list of things that I was to do, smiles would turn into worried frowns as they realized I was putting in about 80 hours a week and also trying to raise a family. Now, as clergy in the Community Catholic Church of Canada, we all wear many hats. While we may not have full-time parish ministry appointments in brick-and-mortar churches, we're all busy earning our livings, caring for our families, building our ministries. Our clergy come from many different backgrounds, experiences, and traditions, and yet we all feel called to a more progressive and inclusive expression of Christianity. This series of videos will look at the nuts and bolts of the things we're called to know as clergy and to learn about the elements that are important to our church. It will serve as a companion to our ministry handbook. Our vocation as deacons, priests, and bishops is both rewarding and challenging. Those of us in small churches may not have the pressure of maintaining a big church building or attending to a long list of members, but as clergy, we've been ordained to offer pastoral ministry, to offer the sacraments, to be worship leaders, and to be spiritual visionaries in our communities. It may seem overwhelming at times to be called into holy orders, especially in a church that doesn't have the resources of one of the big mainline churches, but our ministry is every bit as important. We are modern-day missionaries in a sense, but instead of standing on a soapbox or pleading an altar call, we show people the compassion and love of Jesus by our own life, by our own actions and example. And as we follow Christ, so will others be drawn to us, and together we will find blessing, healing, peace, and true community. In our church, we offer the 7 sacraments, and we must be prepared for these pastoral responsibilities. We are officiants and worship leaders and confessors and pastors, and some days will bring challenge, but we're given everything we need by our loving God who walks with us, by the Holy Spirit who inspires and guides us, and by Jesus who shows us the way to live our lives to the fullest with confidence and grace. I want to affirm you in your ministry and remind you that you are indeed set apart for holy work. Know that you are empowered and blessed to carry out your calling. Let us rejoice in our wonderful church and work to support, encourage, and be in true community together. Now let's take a look at our first topic, that wonderful subject of vestments. Now, because the Community Catholic Church is a mission church of sorts, not many of us have the resources to buy a full set of vestments or perhaps even hardware for the Mass. But you will need an alb or cassock alb. This is an important garment for your clergy wardrobe. It's the foundational garment over which all other pieces are placed. You will need a cincture, which is a long belt-like braided rope, sometimes with tassels on it, and this goes around the alb and holds your stole in place. The stole is a symbol of your level of holy order. Some say that it has its roots in the ancient prayer shawl of the rabbi, and it's a symbol of religious authority. Others believe that it's a reminder of our role as servants, and is taken from the large napkin used by Jesus as he washed the feet of his disciples before his Last Supper. But scholars now believe that the stole evolved from the early Roman Empire, when sashes were awarded to those who served the empire, and they denoted rank by their color. In our tradition, the deacon wears the stole crossed to the side. A priest wears the stole crossed in front. And in some Old Catholic traditions, the bishop wears a stole hanging straight down. If you can, invest in a set of stoles that reflect all of the liturgical colors of the church year. The colors of the liturgical year are rich with meaning. And if the budget is a problem, then it's best to start with green and white, which will cover ordinary times and feast days like Easter and Christmas. Purple will see you through Lent and Advent, although most churches are now using blue for the Advent season. Red is used on Pentecost and the commemoration of martyrs and some saints. If you are gifted with a sewing machine and you know how to use it, there are lots of patterns to make your own stoles, which I'm told are relatively easy to put together, and they look great. Several kinds of vestments can be worn over the cassock, depending on what you're doing in the Mass. Deacons and subdeacons wear dalmatics, which is a tunic-style vestment. Celebrants wear chasubles, which is a poncho-like garment that is often rounded at the bottom. There are various traditions and styles, and it's a matter of personal preference which one you like to wear. In early times, the priest would come to celebrate Mass wearing his daily attire, and the chasuble was worn to cover his street clothes. The root of the word means house, and so the chasuble is a garment that houses the person wearing it. Apparently, the early chasubles used in worship were cumbersome and heavy, not very practical. It required a server to stand on either side of the celebrant to hold up the sleeves. Over the centuries, the chasuble has become a beautiful vestment, synonymous with priestly work and symbolic of the bearing of the yoke of Christ. Chasubles can be quite costly to purchase, and it may take some time to acquire a full set. Green is the color that gets used most often, and that's a good place to start. You can also purchase chasubles with matching stoles. I come from a tradition in which the clergy wore the whole regalia: street clothes, cassock alb, stole, chasuble, sometimes a cope, in summer or in winter. But I also belong to parishes that had closets filled with beautiful vestments. I'm still building my own collection of chasubles. We are a church that's following a new path. Clerical vestments are a part of our identity as clergy. They mark us as worship leaders, but the ceremonial pieces we wear have evolved over time from very humble and simple beginnings. Jesus didn't wear fancy garments as he preached to the people. In fact, he counseled his disciples to travel light and not be weighed down by too many possessions. It is the intention that is the most important thing as we gather for worship. We wear our Sunday best as we come to the altar, but God isn't judging us on whether or not we're wearing that $7,000 chasuble or not. We can celebrate in a simple alb and stole, and Christ is present regardless. While we respect the traditional vestments, we recognize that it is Christ's love that is the sacrament that unites us. Join me for the second video, which explores the linens and the hardware used at our Mass.